Today, we're gonna cover everything TikTok ads. We're gonna go into Shopify, we're gonna link our store, we're gonna make sure the pixel's set up properly. We're gonna make sure that you can get amazing TikTok results. For those that are new to the channel, I'm Davey Fogarty. My Shopify stores have done over $400 million in sales in just 4 years. TikTok ads is the new kid on the block. Usually we're heavily reliant on Facebook because it's such an incredible marketing tool, but lots of people are getting heaps of success with the new entertaining nature of TikTok ads. So it might be perfect for your brand. This video is perfect for beginners. We're not gonna skip any steps, but I'm also gonna go into some advanced things around content because that is so important to make sure that you make TikTok ads work. So the first step you're gonna wanna do is set up your Shopify store. If you haven't set up your Shopify store, just pause the video, click the link in my bio and set it up now. We've got one set up through our Lemon Scrub series, so it's got most of the things ready. We're just gonna make sure that we set up TikTok properly so the pixel is firing. Once you're in Shopify, the best way to go is go into apps and just write in TikTok. Simply download the official TikTok app and click Add Sales Channel. This is the exact same as Facebook nowadays. This will bring up this little TikTok section down on the left-hand store of your Shopify store. If you don't have Shopify, still carry on watching. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty in a second. Once this is set up, we can click this section here, setting up the pixel. The next step, you can see that it's saying connect TikTok for business. This is where you need a new TikTok account. Already have a TikTok business account, you can just click connect, but today we're gonna have to create a brand new one, so I'm just gonna click create new at the top, enter my email address, get the verification code sent, enter the verification code here, agree to terms and conditions, and just click sign up. You can click connect down the bottom right, and that's now created an ads manager, a business manager under that email. We can click create new ad account, and we can select the country and the currency that we want to be billed in. This is generally the region that you want to be targeting. Change the business name to something a little bit simpler, click sign up and connect. You'll come to this data sharing section, which we've touched on a few times in my previous episodes. Just click enhanced or maximum, providing you've got the terms and conditions set up for something, and then click confirm. Maximum is obviously preferred. This is how Shopify shares data with TikTok. This is referred to as CAPI, which is a partnership between Shopify and the advertising platform. Click set up, enter your final details. Make sure you connect automatic payment. Click confirm and you should be ready to go. Now, to create TikTok ads, we're actually gonna have to go back to the TikTok ads manager. So we can go ads.tiktok.com. You can see that our ad account has already been created. To make sure that we do have the pixel set up properly, what I do recommend is going to your website, and just like Facebook, there's something called TikTok Pixel Helper, and it's a Chrome extension that you can download and check if your pixel is firing on your website. If it's not, you may need to go and fix that initially. Just download the Chrome extension, and you can see that our TikTok pixel is set up here. Shopify set it up for us, and it should be firing. This is a page view because we're on a page. When you add a product to cart, it should fire the add to cart pixel, or if someone purchases, you can test a purchase and it will also fire that pixel in the exact right way. So now we're in the TikTok ads account, we can go ahead and create our first campaign. Campaign structures are really important to talk about. It's what separates good advertisers from bad advertisers. That alongside really effective marketing content. The basic structure is you have a campaign, which is what objective you are striving for. If you've got something like a real estate business, it might be leads, you're trying to collect leads, but we've got a e-commerce business, so we want to get purchases. Then you've got the ad set level, which is basically the targeting that you're setting up to complete that campaign objective. Then finally, you've got your ads that live within each of those ad sets. These ads are different creative types that you think are going to convert your customer. So head to campaign. When you're in campaign, all you need to do is click create here, and you'll set up your first campaign. You'll get prompted with two options. You've got simplified mode and custom mode. We're gonna want custom mode. We want the full ability to customize things. You're gonna be an advanced advertiser by the end of this video. Now you've got all of those objectives that I mentioned before. You've got website traffic, which is basically clicking to your website. Now this metric may feel good, but it's a vanity metric. We need people to take action so we can get a return on investment on the clicks that we're getting. You've also got video views, and you can also get followers and things like that. What we want is conversions. So we're gonna click conversions, and now we're gonna name this. This naming will not affect your ads, but it will, however, affect how you read your ad account and the organization behind it. So it's important to get a good system. The system I use is one being cold traffic, which is, we can explain that a bit later on, but all it is saying is that these people are quite new to your business. It's not someone that's purchased before, which we can do within the ad set level. Then I'm just going to say conversions and leave it at that. The other prompts that you've got down here, create a split test and campaign budget optimization, which is CBO. This is something that you're probably not gonna need as in the beginner stage, but I'm gonna explain it anyway so you can become an expert. Creating a split test is a great way of finding if something works better than the other. It's going to allocate accordingly based on their models to give you a high degree of confidence whether, say, a different objective works well, or a different creative works well, or a different audience that you're targeting works better than the other. These split tests can actually be achieved in different ways. You don't actually need to use the inbuilt split test function, which creates a little bit more of rigidity. It's not as flexible, where you can allocate different budgets and take control of the ads. They're kind of gonna split it how they see fit. Then you've got campaign budget optimization. Now this is a feature that Facebook added a while ago, and it is really, really effective at spending lots and lots of money, because technically Facebook or TikTok should know better where to apply that money within the ad set layer. Remember, the ad set layer is where the audiences sit. So it's basically saying, oh, I would rather put more audience in, 18-year-olds that live in this region versus, say, fashion lovers in this region. Again, by selecting that, you're going to remove control from where you want to put money. When we're first starting out, we just want to learn as much as possible and tinker ourselves with such small budgets. Once we've set that up, we can just click continue. And now we get to name our ad group, which again is an organizational thing. Initially, we're just going to say broad, which is generally a statement that advertisers use for a large audience. And we're also going to say lowest cost, which I'm going to explain what that means in a second. We can click the website button here, and providing this has been set up correctly, you'll see that TikTok pixel that Shopify set up for you that's firing on your website. Then we click down here and we can see these optimization events. Now, lots of people when first starting out may use add to cart as an optimization method. The difference between using a metric, because remember, our customers go to our website, then they add it to cart, then they purchase. This is referred to as earlier in the funnel for the add to cart versus the purchase, which is later in the funnel. We want people to purchase, obviously, but by creating an add to cart campaign, sometimes we can get more data and insights for the ad set or even the ads. Now, typically, I don't recommend this for Facebook because Facebook is just so good. Well, it definitely used to be. I think TikTok is kind of on the fence at the moment. I have seen people using add to cart methods to really prove out their creatives before introducing it to a purchase campaign at higher budgets. What we're going to do today, and what I recommend if you're just getting started, is just use a complete payment optimization event, which is just here, which is basically purchase. Then we can scroll down. Don't worry about TikTok instant page at the moment. And then we've also got placements. Now this is important. Unlike Facebook, where you can click automatic placements because it really does have things figured out, you're gonna click select placement because we don't really want our ads running on BuzzFeed or Pangle at this stage. When those automatic placements become more efficient, generally the marketing community figures it out and we'll let you know. The next step is creative type, which we can ignore at the moment. We're really gonna take control of that creative. And now we've got the exciting part, the targeting part. Now, because we've got a broad audience, we're going to want to keep the audience size very, very large, which you can see up here. It literally says fairly broad at this top right. There's 8 million people. As more people go into TikTok, it's the fastest growing social media app. It's going to get larger, which is great. This is a fine audience size. One thing I will recommend that everyone is doing at the moment is unselecting the 13 to 17-year-olds because that is quite young and they might not have the pocket allowance to actually purchase your product. Now, this is something that when everyone's doing it, sometimes there is opportunities to select that targeting because nobody else is actually targeting that age group, but we've had better results from unselecting that at this stage. Gender, it really depends. If you're trying to sell something that's extremely gender specific, you can select that, but the truth is males buy female products for their girlfriends, so you might just want to leave that broad at this stage. Then you've got these interests and behaviors. Now you can still have a very broad audience by using interests and behaviors, especially in the United States, where there's like a lot of people. You can stack a few large interests like fashion and stuff like that. TikTok will give you these recommended interests. They don't have as many as Facebook at the moment, but you can select these and still create a big $8 million audience if you want to fine tune that ad set a little bit more. I recommend this if you are marketing to the United States, just to really narrow that audience down. Because I'm marketing to Australia and there's only 8 million people here, I'm quite comfortable at that audience size, and I'm just gonna leave no interest targeting for this ad set. If you wanted to test if broad works better than, say, a broad interest audience, which is different, one's got no targeting, one's got interest targeting, you can create a second ad group within this initial campaign to split test those audiences, as we were talking about before. The next step is the daily budget. Now, because TikTok is relatively new, you may have to spend a little bit more to figure out if the platform's working. One thing I've noticed is the attribution of TikTok, unlike Snapchat or Pinterest, overcompensates and says we're getting you so many purchases. TikTok seems to be underreporting for us in a lot of regards. If you are getting a little bit more advanced, you can use some attribution tools out there like Triple Whale or Northbeam. They're really expensive for beginners. It can, you really want to be making a profit and spending on multiple platforms before considering using one of those attribution channels to really understand what the CPAs you're getting. CPAs, cost per acquisition. If you're not wanting to invest in an attribution tool, what you'd want to set up is post-purchase surveys. There's plenty of tools out there. There's some great Shopify apps. What you're going to set up, you're going to set up options. So did you see us on Facebook? Did you see us on Instagram? Did you see us on TikTok or something like Google? This is going to allow you with a high degree of confidence to know that your ads are working, because customers are literally buying the product and then saying, I remember seeing you on TikTok. So how do you know what your budget should be for this product? It really depends on your price. If I'm selling a product that's $500, it's going to take me a lot to acquire that customer, because $500, you have to sell less people are going to buy the product because not everyone has $500 lying around. As just a general rule, it's going to cost more. So therefore, you may need to spend about $100 a day so that you're getting enough data through and seeing those cost per ad cards or cost per acquisitions. For us, we're selling a product that, probably going to be at about $70, and we kind of are quite confident in knowing what we're doing. So we can probably set this quite confidently at $50 a day. Ignore the TikTok recommendation for budget. They're obviously going to want you to spend as much as possible. The next section is bidding and optimization. Now, this is where you can have a play around if you are a more advanced marketer. There's value, conversion, and click. The two that you're going to use is conversion and value. Value is basically optimizing what TikTok thinks for the highest converting customers. So if you had like 10 different products on your website, and one's going to produce more of a return on that ad spend because they're going to spend more and it's easier to acquire the customer, they're going to target that person more than someone that's going to spend $5 and it's really expensive to acquire. So it's great to use value. For this tutorial, we're just going to use conversion, and we're going to pair it with a bid strategy of lowest cost. Cost cap is also very interesting, and a lot of advanced marketers are also using cost cap to try to really limit how much it costs to acquire a customer. To put that simply, if you've got a product that's $100 and you can spend $50 to acquire that customer, because let's say it costs you $40 to deliver the product all up, you might want to make your cost cap around $45 or $50, because that's not going to allow it to spend more than that. So you're never going to have unprofitable customers. Now, this can sometimes lead to ad sets not spending and it not optimizing properly. So you really want to make sure that you know what you're doing and do a lot of testing around those cost caps. But it is a great way to force TikTok to convert and make more money when you have a lot of data and a lot of knowledge about your product. To ensure it's going to spend, and because you're just getting started, we're going to do lowest cost. That's all set up now. We can click next. Now, for those Facebook advertisers that have watched my Facebook tutorials, you're probably thinking this is very, very similar, and it is. It's great to have standardization across all of these platforms so the advertisers know how to use the platform. It's the same as websites. They're becoming more standardized. Now we're in the fun part. Now, this is the most important part of TikTok ads. Unlike Facebook, the glory days when you could kind of just whip anything together, whip up a Canva ad and chuck it on Facebook and it could convert, TikTok, it's not gonna work. You can't just go get your Facebook ads either and just plonk them into TikTok. The formatting's different, the customer's intent is different on the platform. TikTok users need to be engaged heavily because you're competing against all of this really engaging content. With TikTok ads, you've got two options. You can either educate the customer or emotionally engage the customer, and that needs to be done in the first 3 seconds in the right way that is native to the platform. So if you're a TikTok advertiser and you're not on TikTok and you're not studying how people are absorbing the content, you need to start. This will allow you to manage your content creators better or even create content yourself for the ads platform. So again, we're going to name our ad set. Now we've got 3 creators for our lemon scrub. One of them went viral. So we're going to do oven clean. So when you're spending millions, what you're going to want to do is make sure that all of your ads that are exactly the same have the exact same name. Now, this is going to help with organization and exporting the data at a future date. You don't want small spelling errors. Obviously, if you've got one piece of creative and it's got a different hook at the start, you do want to create a new name for that, but you want that name consistent throughout the ad account for that piece of creative. So I'm just going to say oven clean 1, and now we can set our custom identity. Now, TikTok is great because you can quite easily create a really convincing profile just with this little section here, which I don't think Facebook has, or I've never seen it. But I do recommend actually creating a TikTok account that you can post ads on later to upload that creative to it. However, I do recommend actually setting up a new TikTok account with all of your profile details and then actually linking it to the ads manager at a later date. This will allow you to build a profile and a bit more brand awareness, post some of this creative actually on the profile to get organic likes as well. You can also then use what's called a Spark ad. Now, Spark ads is very similar to Facebook, where you're boosting a post on the actual profile. Unlike regular ads on TikTok that you're uploading the creative and people will struggle to find it anywhere when the ad goes away, Spark ads, they'll click onto the profile image here, and rather than get directed to your objective, which is generally going to your website, they'll get directed to your profile and they'll see all of the social proof and be able to do a bit more brand search. I'm going to do Lemon Scrub Australia here with no spaces. And I'm now going to upload a piece of creative. I'm going to upload this ad and click upload. Now, this text section is pretty simple. The main thing that you want to do is keep it under 10 words or less, because if you do more than 10 words, it's going to create a ... I'll show you what I mean by this. This lemon scrub cleaner is awesome and fun and fresh. See how down this bottom right, it's just gone to ... You just want to avoid that. So a simple one is on sale now. And that's looking pretty fresh. You can see the preview on the right. You can ignore this interactive add-ons and you can come down to the website and enter your website URL, which we've got here. Copy this over. The call to action you can leave as dynamic, and you can click this checkbox so it posts. Now we've got this third-party tracking down here, which is basically where you can add UTMs and stuff like that. That's a little bit more advanced, but if you know what you're doing, you can set that up. Now I can just click submit, and now that's going to go through a verification process. So one thing that is different compared to like Pinterest and Snapchat that TikTok's done quite well is they actually are very hard to get pieces of content verified. If you're selling health products or you're doing something dodgy, they will flag it and they won't approve the ad. So make sure your ads are applying to their terms and service. TikTok is also great with reps. Unlike Facebook, they're really wanting to talk to you and understand how their ad platform is serving you. Now, we've actually got our first ad running, but don't stop watching here. A lot of people think that they can just launch their ads on TikTok and it's gonna work. It is still a challenging platform to work. Once you've got that structure, the main thing that's gonna hold you back is getting your creative perfect. Getting TikTok creative, you've got a couple of options. First of all, you can actually approach a UGC creator on the platform. Find someone that is managing to go viral. They obviously watch TikTok a lot. Send them the product and then see if they will create a piece of content just for the product. Alternatively, you might need to pay them a bit of money. What goes viral doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a perfect ad. However, it is a good indication that you're capturing their attention and engaging them emotionally. Then there's other marketing best practices that you need. You need to really highlight your product. Make sure it's front and center. Talk about the value propositions of the product. When you're creating TikTok content, make sure there's amazing lighting. You don't want to go into a dull video and you'll just scroll straight past it. Make sure there's low distractions in the actual room, and you can use a tripod to get really steady shots. Some of our top TikTok creatives are actually very on trend with the platform at the moment. TikTok has heaps of trends. They pop up every day, which is why you should be really on top of the platform. However, if you can hit a TikTok trend like 3 things in my kitchen that just make sense, and one of your products is one of those, or an unboxing that really shows and highlights the product, like it's on your doorstep and you're like, this just got delivered from Amazon, and you unbox it, they work really well. Another one that's working really well for us at the moment is the credit card thing, where you're scanning the credit card and putting your credit card on the lens. Make sure you've got really quick transitions as well. Never have a shot that's just hanging on too long and not engaging people. Editing these creators in the TikTok platform is a really good way to make sure it's authentic to the platform. You can also use something like CapCut that's owned by ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok. There are a couple of other tools out there that you can test out that are free on the App Store. Let's have a look at some of the top Oodie performing creatives now so you can get some ideas and copy them. So let's watch this creative and talk about why it's great.
Things about my Oodie that just makes sense. There are so many.
So immediately showing the product in the first 3 seconds and saying things that just make sense. So you're making them watch the video to the end. This is an actual TikTok trend that exists, but it's also serving 2 purposes. It's also showing where they can utilize the product.
Hey babe, you came for movie night?
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You sure? You know what would make movie night better?
So this creative is a little bit different. It's not showing the product in the first 3 seconds, which can also work because people think it's an actual video on the platform, but it's building suspense. It feels very authentic. She's actually reacting to the product because she was gifted it. They also talked about movie night. That's another place that the product can be utilized. So this is an actual trend. We know who this is targeting. This is targeting boyfriends that want to give an amazing gift to their partner. This video works really well because of the transition. It's very TikTok. However, it's also highlighting lots of different products that are available. Hopefully one of those patterns will reconcile with the customer and create a purchase for us. All right, so now you've uploaded your 3 top creatives within that broad ad set. Now, how do we know what is working and what's not? Let's analyze some existing campaigns and explore what I would do next, analyzing the data. Alrighty, so here we have one of our brand's ad accounts. We're getting results on 3 brands on TikTok at the moment. The 4th one we can't make work, and I think it's either because it doesn't have product channel fit or we just haven't nailed that creative yet. Here we can see my setup, which is called Davey. This is the setup that you'll want to set up, which basically shows our CPC, which is our cost per click, our CPM, which is our cost per 1,000 impressions. Then we've got the amount of impressions, clicks. We've also got our click-through rate, which is an indication of the creative's ability to get people to click through to our website. Then we've got our conversions, our CPA, our conversion rate, and also our return on ad spend, which is basically if I spend $1, I get $3.99 for this campaign here. So we've also got our filters up here, time period, which we can see is the last 7 days. So when you're optimizing a campaign, you need to consider what window you're looking at. Typically, if you're not spending lots, you might want to set up a 14-day window. This will allow you enough time to spend over a period of time and make optimization decisions. If you're starting to spend a lot, you might want to react quicker because if you have something set up wrong, it's just going to spend money in the wrong places. So we've got it as last 7 days here, and we can look at our campaigns and go, okay, how is this performing as an overall objective? The things that we could change here is, the types of ad sets that we have in there. We might be able to change our products for that. So for example, Oodie, we've got Oodies here that we'll set up one campaign for, but we might set up a brand new campaign just for sleep teas. Then the real magic happens in the ad group, which we can click through on this tab. This is where the optimization can happen. So these ad groups, remember, are targeting different amount of budgets that we can then manipulate to spend more on the good stuff, less on the bad stuff, or cancel the bad stuff. So these will be different audiences and different ads within the ad group. We can look at something like this, and we've got a large budget to this ad group, so we expect that our results will diminish over time. This is something that is very prevalent in TikTok, is that creatives fatigue really quickly, as well as ad groups. So you need to be scaling and monitoring the platform a lot. So we can scroll over here and we can see that the ROAS is 3.99 for this ad group, which is, you know, above the kind of average. We can see some of these other ad groups are performing at about 2. So we might want to say, okay, this is performing really well. We're still spending $300. Let's bump that up a little bit more. Whereas something, you know, like this is getting a 2 ROAS in the last 7 days, you would monitor that, but you might not increase the budget at all. You might want to decrease the budget to make sure that you're getting customers at a great level. You can also look at the cost per result as well. So again, the example that I gave before, if I had $50 to spend on this customer, you want to make sure that that's under that threshold. Keeping in mind that if it is getting $50 and that is your target CPA, there's probably a lot more awareness going on, and that's probably a profitable level for you. The final thing that we might want to do is come into our ads for one of these ad groups. So let's go to this main creative. So we can then come into the ads and we can compare our 2 ads within that ad group. This is where you really want to be looking at things like click-through rate, as well as your CPMs. If your CPMs are really low, you can see this is $5. That's way better than Facebook. That creative probably on Facebook would get impressions at probably double the price, which is one of TikTok's strengths. So we can see that this creative here is getting a really high return on ad spend of 6.06 versus 1.93 of this top creative. We can then look across to the left and we can see that the budget is only $43 spent in the last 7 days for the lower converting creative versus $100. So what TikTok's doing there correctly is allocating the budget to the better ad. You could probably assume that this second creative is better performing than the first creative, which means that you might want to use that creative in other ad groups, or you might want to create new variations of that ad. Remember, TikTok creatives fatigue really quickly. You might want to film an alternative first 3 seconds and upload that in another ad group. The one thing I will also say, which is a bit of a nuance at the moment, is that TikTok really loves shifting budget around ads in the ad group. Sometimes they put a lot behind one creative and then the next day they want to boost the other one even though the ROAS is different. We're just very cognizant of that and we kind of let it run. We just make sure that we've got enough spend, but sometimes we do stop TikTok from doing that and we can turn off one of those creatives. If you liked today's episode, share it with your friends. If you're still struggling and you need a one-on-one with me, join our membership. I'm happy to work through any problems that you have. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.